Let's talk about cloning your crew at a pulsar. So as you can see, we've boarded the enemy ship, we killed off their crew, but now our crew are very low on health and we'd like to clone them so we have fresh, healthy crew for the next fight. However, being at a pulsar, you have to be careful because this thing can take out your clone bay while you are cloning your crew. So one thing you might want to consider is whether you even board the enemy ship at a pulsar, or at least ways of maintaining some of the health of your crew while you do that so they don't go into the next fight at very low health. Now there are a few things that will make you completely safe if you have them. So if you have a backup DNA bank augment, you're fine. If you have a Zoltan you can throw into the clone bay, you're fine. They will always keep 1 power in it no matter what. If you have double reverse ion field, you'd be fine. But we don't have any of those things, so what can we do? Well, to start with, if we have a level 3 clone bay, we're absolutely fine. And that's because it will never take 3 ion damage. And I'm just going to demonstrate that here. I will speed up the video. So you see there, we took 2 ion damage, but we still have 1 power left. That's because of how pulsars work. You're going to take whatever amount of power is in the system plus 2, all divided by 2 and rounded down. So 3 plus 2 is 5, divided by 2 is 2.5, rounded down is 2. So with a level 3 clone bay powered, you will never have it taken offline. And we'll get our crew back. Alright, now it gets a bit interesting. What if you only have a level 1 clone bay? Well, it turns out you can still try to clone your crew. You just have to be ready to jump away. So we're going to do a bit of prep. The first thing we need to do is make sure our FTL has finished charging. And then we need to think about who we're going to clone and how we want our crew to be set up for the next fight, because we may have to jump away before we've finished. So I'm going to move this pilot, who has lots of health, to be my secondary boarder. Or my second boarder rather. And this one, who is normally a boarder, is going to be a temporary pilot. And the idea is that we're going to be able to clone this crystal no matter what. I want to clone the crystal because crystals are so much better as boarders, so I really want to have this crew at full health and ready to board. So we can jump, we have a pilot, we have our second boarding crew ready. We just need to get this one ready. And we're going to get them low on health again. Oh. Okay. And now we're using only a level 1 clone bay. Imagine we don't have any upgrades. Okay. And now I'm going to instantly vent them. So I put them in an airlock. So the air will instantly vent when I open this door. Kill off our crew. Our clone bay is only level 1 now. And we have a slightly better than 50% chance to finish cloning this crew. If we finish cloning this crew, then we'll be able to attempt cloning this crew over here as well. So we got him. That's great. I just thought I'd show you another example where we do get ionized in the clone bay. So let's do it again. Okay, let's kill off our crew. And this time it really is a level 1 clone bay. Most of the time you're going to get away with it, but you may have to jump away sometimes. Oh, this one's really close. So we're almost there, but we can't wait any longer. We're about to take ion damage, and we just jump away. Something worth noting, by the way, is that you don't make progress on cloning during the FTL jump. It's not like a medbay. If your crew are in the medbay, you will get 2 seconds of healing while you jump. That's how long an FTL jump takes in game time. A lot of things do progress as you jump, but cloning does not. So we jump to the next beacon and we get our crew back and we can board with them very quickly. Now, one thing to bear in mind is that there are events in the game that cause unavoidable system damage. So Mantis Fugitive is one of them. I'm just going to load up one of the outcomes, which is one of the things that can happen if you offer to help the Mantis. You take hull damage, but you also take damage to a random system. That was our doors. In fact, that's pretty interesting. We took 2 damage to our door system. That's actually because 2 separate damage events coincided on the same room. I'm not sure if I've ever seen that. But that could have been our clone bay, and our crew isn't finished cloning. So there are jumps that can kill your crew in this way. Now, for the most part, you just need to have good event knowledge. So Mantis Fugitive, for example, is only going to happen in Mantis and NG sectors. And it's also a unique event, meaning that if you've already encountered it in the sector, then you cannot encounter it again. The other 2 that you need to watch out for are Rock Live Mine and the Small Asteroid Belt Distress Beacon event. And actually, Rock Live Mine doesn't matter at all, because you are never going to see a pulsar in a rock sector. Small Asteroid Belt Distress, that can kind of force you into taking system damage. Either that, or you risk a 50% chance of the rebel fleet advancing. So you probably don't want to jump to a distress beacon when you are cloning crew if it's in the sectors where that event occurs. And that occurs in Civilian, NG, Pirate, Rebel, Rock and Uncharted Nebula sectors. Other than that, you just need to know your events very well. If you're jumping with crew that are cloning, then you are just risking running into events sometimes where you might have to skip the event instead of taking the outcome that can generate scrap. Now, what about if you have a level 2 clone bay? Well, it turns out that it's almost the same prospect as a level 1. And that's because you don't quite have enough time to guarantee that you can clone them. And I'm just going to demonstrate this here. I've got this crew super low on health. They're actually well below 1 health. And I'm going to vent them. I have a timer in the corner up here. And it takes them 2 seconds to die, plus the 9 seconds of cloning, which means 11 seconds in total. So because you can't do this quite instantly, there is a very small chance that a pulsar would hit you first. Because it's going to be exactly 11 seconds, or rather just over. So there we are. 11.16 is when I press the pause button. A pulsar could hit just before then. However, it does give you one additional benefit, which is really subtle, which is if you know your events really, really well, then this will allow you to take some events that you would otherwise have to refuse if you're jumping away with crew that are cloning, because most events can only do 1 system damage, not 2. For example, that small asteroid field distress beacon, that can only do 1 damage. It can light fires as well. Actually, it will light fires. But that's not enough to take out the clone bay before your crew gets cloned. So there's a small difference between level 1 and level 2. And of course the other thing is that you're just much more likely with level 2 not to need to jump away in the first place. And that's all there is to it. Next time you're at a pulsar and you think you can't clone your crew, well, maybe you actually can.